3 o'clock prayer. You died, Jesus, but the source of life flowed out for souls, and the ocean of mercy opened up for the whole world. O fountain of life, immeasurable divine mercy, cover the whole world and empty yourself out upon us. O blood and water, which flowed out from the heart of Jesus as a fountain of mercy for us, I trust in you. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, holy mighty one, holy immortal one, have mercy on us and the whole world. Amen. Jesus, King of mercy, we trust in you.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Christmas to me is togetherness. It is you and the family and friends. It is you and the angels and the cows and the deer and the dog and the shepherds and the angels up there all together in one place, in one habitat, centered on the babe, on the manger. It's togetherness in Christ. It's togetherness in the Lord Jesus. And together with Jesuit Communications and Arete of the Ateneo de Manila University, I wish to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us in a very special concert which we entitled The Third Noel. Light up the world, spreading hope and solidarity with all nations. The show will be streamed on December 11, 7:30 in the evening on the Facebook pages of Jesuit Communications, Radio Katipunan, Arete, and other social media partners. May the light of Christmas spirit shine forth from within our hearts. Join us. I'll see you there.
Christmas to me means the peace of Christ ruling our hearts. Peace in the midst of restlessness, confidence in the midst of discouragement, joy in the midst of sadness, and courage in the midst of trial. Christmas is Emmanuel, God with us. Together with Jesuit Communications and Arete of the Ateneo de Manila University, I wish to invite you to celebrate Christmas with us in a very special concert entitled The Third Noel, Light Up the World, Spreading Hope and Solidarity with All Nations. The show will be streamed on December 11, 7:30 in the evening on the Facebook pages of Jesuit Communications, Radio Katipunan, Arete, and other social media partners. May the light of Christmas spirit shine forth from within our hearts.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong.
All right, good afternoon and Merry Christmas to all of you science lovers of the Ateneo community as well as the UP Diliman community, Katipunan community. This is our last episode for our Science, Technology, and Society show, RK Asks. So how is everybody doing? We weren't able to log on last week because of technology issues. So who wants to start us off? Butch, Doc Butch? It's our last episode of the year. Yeah, see, Doc, I hope that I'm not the one who's... Ben, you wanna hello? There he is.
Yeah, so I'll let me share my slide here. No? There you go.
All
So
right.
I hope you can see my slides. Can you wait? Wala. Wait. Technical difficulties.
Why don't
Here.
there he is. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Okay, so this is the profile of the active cases in the Philippines. No? So we can still see the epicenter is in NCR in the area of the Greater Manila area. No? But you can also see some orange areas where you have active cases in Visayas and some in Mindanao. No? Now, regarding the new cases as reported by DOH, no, we have a slight decrease from November. No, so we have 1,396 new cases per day. No? So it has a slight decrease. However, if you look at this, the reproduction number has increased, no, from 0.88 the start of November to 0.91 at the start of.
So why is that? Why is it that the numbers are going down but the reproduction rate is going up?
Well, the reproduction number is because of the contact tracing and it's because of the testing. No, now this most likely that there is a lag in the data coming in DOH. No, so the reproduction number is actually my personal monitor for the situation. No, so with this graph here, you can see that in December, when we see more people around going to the malls, going to the offices, no, going to parks, we have an increase already, from 0.88 to 0.91. No? Now in NCR, it's been stagnant. No? So from between 350 to 400 new cases per day. No? It means that there are now more new cases in the provinces. So let's look at some of the other factors here. No? So November and October, we did not have much problem with hospital capacity. But entering December, there are already two cities, Muntinlupa and Makati, which reported elevated numbers in their hospital. No? So it has breached the 70% red line. No? So this is for total beds. No? For ICU, we have Taguig and Las Piñas reporting more than 70% utilization. This December is critical because this will set the bar for what will happen in 2021. No? There's a lot of talk now about opening industry and some talks about doing blended learning, which means on some parts of the week, students will be able to go back to school. No? So we can use December as our model for next year. December, we have a lot of mobility now in the malls. No? Now that we see an increase in the number of cases and an increase in the R value, we might have to think twice about doing blended learning and still continue with our online or purely remote learning for next semester. Now, of note here, the provinces and regions ranked according to the new cases. Of course, we have NCR number 1, but Davao has been there for the last 3 weeks, as the number 2 or 3. Davao has been there, so I think it's best to analyze what's happening in Davao.
Davao is in community quarantine, or
Yeah,
Same
this
as
Davao City.
NCR,
No? Let
just
me
like NCR.
here it is,
Is it?
Davao City. No, this is the LGUs with the most new cases per day. No, so Davao City. So we might want to look at what is happening in Davao, why the numbers are increasing in Davao. No? Now NCR, as you can see here, no, top 2, 3, 4, 5. NCR is as expected. No, it is where the epicenter really is. No, but we are now seeing more cases in the regions, in the provinces now. No, even we have here Benguet, no, we have Baguio City, and we have Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental. No, so COVID is now concentrating in the metro cities in the provinces. No? It can happen that those cities will have increased local transmission and have a surge in those cities by start of January. It happened here in NCR before, the early part of the year. We only had 4 cases, remember? But at around February, we only had 1 to 4 cases. No? So, but with local transmission, it can spike dramatically at
All right.
a very short time. No? So,
Okay.
one of the recommendations that we have now, which we submitted to the government and to the public, is that the issue of super spreaders. No?
Uh-huh.
All right, let me stop my slide, my share. All right. Now, with super spreaders, it means that there are localized areas wherein congregations or meetings or conferences or seminars can be activities which will spread the virus quickly, right? So when we talk about super spreaders, it is not a person, I think I read somewhere that children are super spreaders. No, no, we are talking about activities here, not people. No, so activities which could be termed super spreaders are mass gatherings like schools, perhaps conferences, seminars, church gatherings will still be considered as super spreader activities. No? Now,
Okay.
that can all be
Yes,
curbed,
go
can
on.
all be controlled with proper physical distancing and minimal health standards. It is just a warning, siguro, to the public, no, that the numbers are going up right now. No? And we have seen a
So
steady.
is it because of Ulysses, because of the evacuation centers?
No, as we have seen in Davao, Davao was not really hit strongly by Typhoon Rolly nor by Typhoon Ulysses. No? And we
So
see
does that mean that they're not what's that? They're not adhering to the protocols, or they're not
perhaps,
monitoring?
yeah. Well, there is no other reason for the spike in the increase in the number of new cases in those provinces, but to consider increased mobility of the people. No? So, like I've said before, COVID or SARS-CoV-2 does not have legs. It needs people to spread around, to go around and spread itself. No? So, I suppose yes, it's about mobility. No? So, with those metro cities, no, we are seeing a lot of people.
It's about
Right now, no?
riding the jeepney, riding the taxi.
Right. Yeah. The transportation sector also is a stakeholder in this. No, call centers, schools are all stakeholders. No, there are really perhaps not lapses. No, perhaps not lapses, but maybe relaxation of the implementation of the
Of
minimum.
masking and the washing of hands.
Right, no? It's still the very basic, very basic washing of hands. When you cough, cover your mouth. When you sneeze, cover your mouth. No?
So,
It's basic.
Ben, are you still there? So why don't you say hi to our listeners, Dr. Vallejo?
Yeah, I'm still here. Kaya lang, I was fixing a lot of things. Okay, so again, good afternoon, and this is the last episode of the year, so I like to wish listeners and viewers happy Christmas and a better New Year for 2021. No?
Do you have anything to add to the update? The
Updates. Okay. Yeah. I think Dr. Butch has already presented yung trends, no, and I think that is to be expected, no. But we are still in a situation that we can actually do something to prevent it from becoming worse, no? And we end up with lockdown similar to what's happening
In
in
Europe.
Europe, diba, and other countries, no? Even in
So,
Vietnam, nag-lockdown na rin sila. Okay, so yun, I think we can, no. But the thing is, just to reiterate what Dr. Butch said, no, yung this is not the time to put our guard down, no. If possible, don't go to have mass gatherings, the Christmas parties, and things like that, no. Uh,
so actually, we have a. Can we show that graphic?
yeah.
Um, let me see. I'll share. I'll share. So can someone explain this? This is from Jomar, who unfortunately is not able to join us. Um,
Yeah, I saw that
but was
already.
with us.
No,
Yeah,
social
could
media.
so this is tayo lang naman eh. So this seems
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
that is,
like the mentality behind small gatherings.
yeah, but ang sinasabi kasi, when we have a small gathering, we think that we know the people that are attending, di ba? But the question is, we do not know the other circles of the people that we know that are attending this small gathering. So lalaki yung ating uh, circles, no? In one of those circles, there could be somebody who's infected. Uh, then the infection can move from one person to another, which means that tumataas yung the R value is increasing, and it might happen that we do not know that one of the infected people may be in the small bubble that we think we have
Yes.
that is safe. Yun.
So no matter how
Bubble is
small it
actually
is,
bigger. Oo.
so even if it is less than 10, so parang this graph is showing that we all belong to bigger bubbles.
Yeah, okay. Ano naman kasi, if we're going to have small gatherings, it actually just cuts down the risk but doesn't totally eliminate it. But the problem is if there's so many people having small gatherings all over the town or over the city, or let's say in UP, no, if all the colleges have small gatherings, then we can consider the whole UP Diliman community as having a large gathering, di ba?
Yeah. So,
So,
what about that guideline nga, that it's less than 10, it's safer. It's not safe?
it's not it means the risk is reduced, no? And it depends also on what the activities are that are being done, no? I
Because
think
I know that most
uh,
families would be an average of 20.
yeah, but for example, in my family, wala na kaming Christmas gathering. What they would what my family, the people in my family would do is to send money for gifts through GCash yata. So ganun na lang, wala na kaming gathering. So yung yung different nuclear families, to like yung family ng sister ko, mga cousins ko, they will meet in their houses,
They'll meet
and
na lang siguro in small groups
and
rather
they'll
than
just zoom in on
yeah.
Christmas Day. Ganun na lang ang plan namin.
So is this a question of because of the holiday spirit and because of the gains of the previous months, we think that we're safe? Is the message? Is it because of the holiday spirit? Christmas naman, so let's have
Right,
some fun. Or
it's true naman that even in other countries the infection rate really dropped, no? 'Di ba? We were so happy that Vietnam was able to reduce it, or New Zealand was able to reduce it. But or sa New Zealand almost totally eliminate it. But the thing is, parang that gives us a sense of parang complacency, no? But the thing is, the virus is still out there. Tapos wala pa tayong, at that time, wala pang workable vaccine. Only now that the people are, governments are rolling out the vaccine, no? So, with that, no, and of course, with complacency, and we want to get back to our normal social lives, so there's really a chance na the infection rate will go up.
so
Actually,
now
people,
it's like going to the mall. Is it still more? Is it more dangerous now that more people are going to the mall?
Yeah, I think the risk will be higher, no? In crowded places.
But did
But
you see the picture of Divisoria?
yung Divisoria, that's really all, that's ano na yan, super red flag na yan.
So
Maybe we're going
I
to,
think we should do our Christmas shopping online, no? But then that's more expensive.
hindi naman, well, I think you can go to commercial facilities, but make sure na konti yung tao. And also the merchants, no, like the supermarkets, they should strictly implement yung sinasabi ng IATF na 30% lang yata yung capacity, or pinataasan ng konti 50%. Some LGUs put it at 30%. Kung sundin nila yun, I think the risk will be manageable, but not to totally eliminate the risk. So kailangan naka-mask and face shield pa rin yung mga tao. Oo.
So will government come out with or media have a more vigilant messaging, no? Na hindi dahil Pasko ay hindi na magbabantay, no? Na hindi na magiging alert.
Yeah, I think yung social media and yung commercial media natin is already bringing out that message na wag na kayong mag-video okay, wag na kayong mag-party.
That's a high risk behavior.
Oo
Video,
naman.
okay.
Actually,
You
one of
share
the
your
highest,
mic.
I talked to one of my former students na working on infectious diseases, no. Malaking dito in the recent ang suspetsya niya is because people are socially drinking the inuman
Right now.
Hindi yung malaking chance na kasi pag nag-inuman ka, alang naman takpan mo yung bibig mo.
Saka kakanta.
Oh, well, aside from that, kakanta later on. No? Yung ating culture, di ba, pag may inuman, may kantahan. So,
Normally kasi may birthday.
yeah, oo.
Ngayon birthday ni Jesus. So.
Yeah. So if people can avoid large gatherings, no, hindi naman totally don't attend. If you can avoid, if you're going, wala kayong choice, might as well be protected. Diba? Wear your mask and
wear your mask. They should invent a mask where you can stick a straw into.
Magka-video okay. Dapat lagyan ng yung mga mask, dapat merong Bluetooth mic.
Bluetooth mic.
Diba?
So there's a lot of room for innovation.
I think
so. How will we know in January pa or middle of baka by Christmas we know whether we are going back to lockdown?
Oh well, 'di ba yung life cycle ng SARS-CoV-2, 'di ba? It takes 14 days to see the spike.
Yeah.
So if everybody goes to parties right now, 'di ba, in normal situation, party time na ngayon. Tsaka shop at the go to the mall and shop, 'di ba? If people will do that tapos walang precautions, then we should see the spike by New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Oo.
So that's our paputok. All right. That's
Yung
Octa's
talaga
paputok. But
we
we won't be
don't want
here.
that at all. Period. We don't want it at all.
So I think media should really because this is our last episode, no? So hopefully the mainstream media would be able to keep people on their toes.
Anyway, sinabi ko nga sa students ko, hoy, mga pag nag-party kayo tapos kukunan kayo ng video, upload sa social media,
our students being because they can go out now, no? There was already a kind of that
yung
they
mga
can go out.
above 18, they can go out.
So not even.
College students can go out.
Most of our students would be able to go out.
Go out.
Are you seeing an increase among the young people? Infection?
Ako? Well, pag nagpupunta ako sa mall, hindi pa
sa infection. Sa infection.
Infection. I don't know, better, but maybe Butch would know kung may increase sa young people.
What's the question?
Are you seeing increase among young people sa infection?
Actually, because there is restriction for younger people, younger than 15, we are not really seeing infections, respiratory infections right now with children. So actually, the quarantine restriction for below 15 is actually effective as far as I know, no? Because I don't see any cases of COVID which has infected a lot of children, no? And the elderly. It's really more on the working class, the working age, from ages 20 to around 50 years old. The data is crunched up in that area, no? The age group. So with children, well, that's a big discussion there. Where do we open the schools now? No. So right now we are seeing very low numbers with children because they are not outside. No, they're not going to school.
Maybe we
But
should.
perhaps if we open schools, we can see a spike in the number of cases. We don't know yet.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for this. In the meantime, for our COVID updates, hopefully we will be able to manage it still, no, by the end of the year. And I'm not sure when we'll be back to give the updates. And Father Nona says that he monitors our show for this update. So the vaccine was served. The first vaccinated senior citizen was last Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it seems that you guys want to talk about the scenario 2021, so Science and Society. Who wants to start us off?
Vaccine. Okay. Well, actually, I think we have to be happy that with the advances in science, no, especially in molecular biology and genomics, in less than a year, there's already a vaccine being rolled out, which means the government regulator in the case of the UK, diba, already has allowed it to be used for the general population, no. And that's
What vaccine is that?
Yung yung sa Pfizer, yung sa
Pfizer.
Then and that's actually very remarkable kasi if we look at the history of vaccination, diba, it took almost 1,000 years for Jenner to come up with smallpox vaccine. and the flu vaccines that we take for granted and the measles vaccines, yung BCG for babies, diba? MMR for babies, no? It took about more than around 20 to 30 years for it to be developed and to be rolled out, no? So this is unprecedented na in less than a year, we have a vaccine for a virus that's new. Kasi remember, smallpox has been there for thousands of years, diba? And tuberculosis, the bacteria has been there for thousands of years also. But SARS-CoV-2, we only knew it around this time of the year last year.
Or
So,
earlier.
1 year later, may vaccine na. That's really demonstrates how far we have gone with science and technology.
With several vaccines. That was the topic of several weeks ago. No?
And so, ayun, and that's the question is which vaccine is most affordable and best for people? Kasi maraming gumagawa ng the vaccines are of different types, ha. Merong mRNA, merong adenovirus vector, and there is the weakened virus vaccine, no? So which among them works best? So yun ang maganda nating we will know by next year.
Why? Because only when how will we know? When you say we will know by next year, which is the best vaccine, in the sense that the cases will drop, or
no, when I say best vaccine, hindi lang naman yung efficacy or efficiency. It's also whether the government people can afford to buy it for public health, or the government can afford to give it to the citizen.
Do you have an idea of where we are? Because Indonesia already approved the vaccine it's going to use, no? Are we anywhere close to approving, or?
No, our government is just considering.
Not yet.
the vaccines to use, no? Pag pumasok na yon, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, no? Maybe Butch can say more about this. When we've decided whether to bring it here, then the FDA will assess it and
So
approve
where's
it.
the shopping?
We're considering, considering which to get.
Is this because the cases are not so high in the Philippines, or it's because why are we taking our time?
No, I think, di ba, the issue was the countries which developed the vaccines, of course, reserve their millions of doses for their own
themselves.
citizens, no? Kung ano yung sobra, yun ang ibibenta.
But I know that was it Secretary Galvez who said that Australia might give us their sobra, what they will not.
Yeah,
be.
oo. We need to get it. Oo. And from the countries who are manufacturing it.
So there's a real problem of supply.
It will become a problem kasi what if they can't sell us kasi inuna nila yung kanilang citizens. Diba?
Which is most likely, diba? Which is most likely.
Actually,
Especially
it's
since
happening now.
like in Europe, they're really not controlling it.
Oo. And remember, yung sa UK, di ba? Canada will get also from them because part of the scientific development was done by Canadians.
Because of the
Yeah,
operation.
To part of the scientific development. So Canada has one of the first countries to get it outside the UK, no?
So who should be working on this? Should it be, because I know that the industries are willing to put up to cough out the cash to buy the vaccine.
Yun nga,
Especially for their own people.
what if we have the cash tapos they cannot sell to us?
Kasi walang supply. But I
Or
thought
unahin nila yung kanilang citizens. Diba? So which gives me to the important point, and which even during the American colonial period, no, our science establishment recognized that we should have the capacity to make our own vaccines. And during the American colonial period, they put the infrastructure for that. Diba? And when we became yung sa Alabang, diba? That was a virology institute before of the colonial government. So
and QIS. Well, that was treatment for tuberculosis.
yeah, so we can actually make, that's what they wanted, no? For us to make our own vaccines.
So, what are you suggesting, Dr. Vallejo?
And perhaps we should realize that we have to have a facility to research and make our own vaccines. It's not only for human health, mas malaki yung concern for veterinary uses. Kasi
Food supply. I think our friends in the Belgian government should be interested in that. But so that is really what about Butch? Are you less optimistic about, so what eventually, therefore, it's not a vaccine? Is that the subtle messaging? Let's not pin our Advent hope, Christmas joy, on the vaccine. Is that what?
Well, the vaccine is actually just one of the ways we can curb the COVID-19. No, but the vaccine, of course, its development has been fast-tracked, so you can appreciate the advancement in technology and vaccine development. But lately, you can now see reports of severe adverse reactions, but not fatal. No? But they are expected. No?
Is
Now,
that the allergic reaction?
yeah. No? So we have headaches, fever, body pain. No? These are the usual vaccine side effects. But if we are going to pin our hopes on the vaccine for normalcy next year, if that's a question, no, I think we should start from ourselves. No? The vaccine will be there to help, but the new normal really dictates us to go back to basics. No? the new normal dictates for us to have good hygiene, no? To be responsible when we're sick. When you're sick, stay home, right? Don't infect other people, all right? So these are all basics, and that's the new normal. That's what I've been telling my students also. No, they've been asking me what advancements do we have, or what technological advancements will we see next year. I tell them, no, we have to go back to basics. No, it's about being responsible for environment. Remember, SARS-CoV-2 began with the animal industry, in China, and sanitation there. So we have to be more responsible with our industries, with ourselves. No? So the vaccine will help. No? And the vaccine rollout, I heard it's about a 2 to 3 year plan to roll out the vaccine to every Filipino in the country, and they're also given in tranches. Well, the first tranche will be the vulnerable sector, the healthcare workers, the frontliners, right? Then we have the class B and E, and so on and so forth. No? So not everyone will be vaccinated at the same time, right? So if you're going to look at the schedule of vaccination, which I think the president reported, no, it will be class E and D first. Not even the major working class, right? Not even the middle class who go to work every day. So even if the vaccine is here, right, for the first few months or even for the year, the middle class earners might not be vaccinated at all for the first year. It'll be the frontliners and the lower class income.
Why is that? What's the rationale? Why the lowest class would be vaccinated first?
It's just a policy the government takes, that to prioritize those who have a low income, and of course the frontliners.
This is for the free vaccine.
Yes, for the free vaccine, and the vaccine. I've heard so many rumors about the price. Some say it's 1,000 pesos per shot. Others say it's 12,000 per shot. Others say it's 18,000 per shot. I guess it depends on what vaccine will be entering the country. I assume for those with problems or challenges in logistics, such as storage problems, very low temperature or ultra low temperature storage, it will be expensive, because you have to pay for all those logistical issues. But for those with ordinary storage requirements, it'll be probably cheaper. So it really depends on what the FDA will approve for the Philippines.
And price has something to do with that as well.
Yes, of course. We have to also pay for the transportation, the storage. For the healthcare workers, probably not. Probably not. But the vaccine itself does have its own cost. And to add on to that are the requirements to store it, to ship it. So, do we pin our hopes on a vaccine? No, we should not. We should not be complacent. Even when the vaccine is here, remember, even when we have the flu vaccine every year, we get vaccinated annually for flu. People still get flu, right? So even if we are vaccinated,
that's why I don't take it. Although I don't have flu. Hopefully.
Yeah, but the message is still the same. We cannot pin our hopes on the vaccine alone. And although the vaccine is 95 to 96% effective, you might be at the 4%. So
that is always the.
Yeah, so it's up to
us.
That
would be tragic.
Yeah, it's up to us. Really.
If you're the liminal, you're the 4%. I hate to ask it, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you think the elite will commandeer will eventually just finally have their own supply of that?
No, there's nothing stopping people kasi our healthcare system naman, you can pay for the service out of pocket. Hindi tayo socialized healthcare eh. Like in England, di ba? You have to get it through the NHS.
So there'll be so economics will also play a
so the elite can buy it. And probably some
Supply it.
drug companies will sell it, no, once it's approved, no.
Yeah.
They can easily get it, no. Now, yung ano about
Which kasi you were here when we first talked about this, which I think there should be laws already regulating this.
alin?
About the vaccine.
No, there are. Meron yan yung ano sa food and drugs law natin. I think meron siya. There is really.
Like the supply and the
No,
traffic of
once the FDA approves it naman for use here, then the drug companies can buy it anywhere.
Pero yung hoarding, anti-hoarding,
Oo.
possible hoarding and then jacking up the price.
Ayun, then the government can intervene if
Yeah, I
they
think,
hoarding. Essentials yan Oo.
so someone should really, monitor those laws and the implementation of those
But
laws.
I think the concern that we should have, at this was said by Secretary Duque in an interview, on some sa media. According to the latest survey, 31% of Filipinos do not want to be vaccinated. Now that is a very serious.
What's the reason for that? What's the reason for that?
What happened in the Dengvaxia issue?
Dengvaxia.
Because
So
according
which
to
means the
Secretary
demand will
Duque,
be low anyway.
No,
The
but
demand will be low anyway.
no. That is counterproductive. If the government wants to vaccinate, put priorities on certain sectors of our.
Kasi ano daw will be the first, di ba?
Ha?
Secretary Duque and the president.
Sinabi niya doon sa interview sa ANC ba yan? Yan sa TV Patrol ba yun? Na siya daw yung una. Okay lang sa kanya. But the thing is, of
Because
course,
after all, the first one that was vaccinated was 90-something, di ba?
yung
The first one that was 90 years old
Yeah,
na
yeah.
Ali na
99% effective.
doon sa UK.
Yeah, kasi sa kanila, they prioritize yung people in nursing homes. Hindi
Because
lang-
that's also a super spreader, no, Butch? Fortunately, we don't have a lot of those here.
No, the reason
Nursing
why
home.
they prioritize in nursing home, because the statistics says yung death rate was really high sa nursing home.
Yeah,
Sa
yeah.
European So yun ang una nilang prioritize for vaccination. That's their list of priorities, no. Sa atin, we probably would have a different list of priorities kung sino yung ipa-prioritize, no.
But I suppose in the greater scheme of things, someone like the president should be vaccinated first, right?
Yeah, it's in the national security interest. Your president should be vaccinated
Yeah.
first. Oh,
What about teachers?
yun nga I think we have to tell that to DOH, because the teachers are essentially frontliners. They can get sick from the kids who may have it, di ba?
Pero hindi pa naman, we will not have face-to-face classes.
Yeah, yun nga. Kaya siguro wala sa priority because DepEd hasn't decided whether to or recommended whether to have or CHED.
But as always, teachers will not be the ones, will not be the ones to get it, even if like the first ones, like, you know what I mean? Even if they want to, kasi some of
It depends kasi on if the government says wala mo ng face-to-face class, the teachers will be a lower priority. Di ba? Oo.
So, any other scenarios you're predicting for 2021 science and society?
Well,
Technology?
because everybody is very clued into this vaccine issue, no? And of course, media, being what media is, they would emphasize yung mga taong may adverse reactions, no? Sabi nga ni Dr. Butch, people do get adverse reactions to vaccines. Kaya nga tinatanong ng
Kaya nga
doctor.
tinatanong doctor, they have adverse reaction.
Ito tinatanong
Parang tinatanong na yun kaagad, di ba?
Flu vaccine, no? Ako personally, when Dr. Butch vaccinated me for this strain of the flu, mukhang wala yata akong immunity to this strain. Pero so I really felt bad for around 48 hours, no? What kung gano'n ang lumabas sa sa mga may patients na ganyan, nilitaw in social media. Masakit ang katawan ko, hindi ako makatayo. Then media could spin it that way. I think media should be more responsible. Because that's really something that will happen. No? The adverse reaction.
Maybe we should come up with guidelines on what is responsible coverage of the vaccine.
Yeah, but
considering that people are already culturally they're adverse against it.
The point is we have freedom of speech and the press.
But
regulation should be with we will have to leave that to the press to self-regulate themselves.
No, I think we can do that. We can tell them, don't emphasize or they should ask experts about it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
In China, where the media is more regulated, you have to follow the official line. So you cannot say that people are having adverse reactions, you have to minimize that.
Yeah, but anyway, that's it. Maybe, like, for example, when you're talking about the adverse reaction, I know that the doctor always asks anyway, do you have adverse reactions? How would I know, doc? This is the first time you're prescribing it to me. Pero, tinatanong din niya, di ba?
Di ba? Besides, I was telling my students, it will be the doctor that will decide whether you'll be essentially, it will be the doctor that will decide whether you have to be vaccinated or not, depending on your medical history. Di ba? Yun yung So, anyway, I think
science communication will still be, I think that's the most important thing also, precisely because of that Dengvaxia thing.
The Dengvaxia issue really eroded people's faith in the effectiveness of vaccines. 31% is bad, no? Imagine our medical profession in the last 130 years promoted vaccination, di ba? During the I think at the end of the American colonial period, everybody almost 90% compliance tayo sa vaccination. Tapos now
I think the scare also came from them.
Huh? Which one?
From the Americans. They're the ones who started the anti-vaccine.
Maybe, sino yung unang vaccine scientist natin? Si Antonio Luna at si Yongson, di ba? They all promoted vaccination.
So yun nga, we should really try to speak more positively about it, vaccination.
Yeah, yun nga. I think it's kasi unlike Dengvaxia, yung dengue naman binibigay lang yun sa mga people that are at risk. So if you are not at risk from getting dengue, there's no reason for you to get that vaccine, no? Kaya lang mas mataas yung risk of all people with COVID. Diba? So more people will probably need to get vaccinated as compared to Dengvaxia, to dengue.
I wonder if our students who are already taking this course, Science and Society, or maybe we should tell the Commission on Higher Education to actually overhaul the STS course so that it includes all these topics as well. Vaccination, the basics of health, hygiene. When you say hygiene, is that paliligo? Is that or cleaning? Is that cleaning your environment? Or
that falls sa basic ed yun, no?
Basic ed. O nga, pero pag tumatanda na yung bata, hindi na naliligo yan eh.
Ha?
Pag tumatanda na yung bata, hindi na naliligo.
Ewan ko, when I was a teenager,
hindi naglilinis ng kwarto. Hindi naglilinis ng kwarto.
Even if
they don't clean up their rooms.
Yeah, even if you're an adult, hindi ka pa naglilinis ng kwarto.
That's it. But is it like a basic, when you say basic hygiene, does that include cleanliness?
It would fall, diba?
Naglilinis ng kotse. Marami, they live in their cars, but their cars are really like, filthy.
Sa health, health science and PE cluster ng sa elementary school, sa DepEd. Dun yun.
Yeah, but if that's the basic that will prevent us from getting infected, maybe we should start talking about it at every level, diba?
Yeah, but there will be a challenge for next year. Una kasi according to Secretary Duque, most likely we will the first rollout probably will be after June. Kasi you have to give time to
For the
FDA
approval.
to assess it.
Bakit
no?
mabagal? I think really bakit talaga, why are we taking our sweet time?
Yeah, let's ask Butch. Bakit nga mabagal Butch yung approval?
Matagal na itong issue ng vaccination. Why is government not, why is it taking its sweet time?
Well, we're not actually taking our time, no. It's about the priorities of the countries who manufacture. You were right a while ago when we said that those countries who manufacture vaccines will prioritize their own citizens. That's one, right? Secondly, in our local FDA, we have to pilot test the vaccine first, no? Unless the president waives that procedure on the clause that is for emergency use, no? So we can have a vaccine which is not tested, but because it has the proper documentation, the proper testing abroad, no, the proper regulations abroad, no, we might roll it out without being tested, no? Now, one other thing that delays actually a commercialization of a drug or a vaccine is the appropriateness of its use in our culture. So there might be vaccines which are not applicable for Asians, for example, right? I heard somewhere that one of the vaccines from I think it's from China. It's it's genetically compatible for Asians. They said. No? So I think we have to have tests on which vaccine to choose. Another one is delivery. No? When it's delivered to the country, we must have storage ready for it. And I think it's been announced that we don't have enough storage. So we might have to increase our storage capacity first before we order and receive the millions of doses of vaccines. No? So Ben is right in his assessment that it's probably by June or July where we will have the first COVID-19 vaccine rollout. No, it might take that long, or it might take even longer actually.
So, what's our good news for before Christmas? Having said that,
Good news.
we shouldn't really take this as part of our Advent and Christmas
Good
joy.
news. Hindi, we have vaccines that are being made. Ang dami nga nila, 53, di ba? But I think about of the 53, baka 10 lang yata. Actually, di ba, last time I told you about the COVID vaccine tracker, which you can actually, one medical association list all the vaccines at nasang stage na siya. Di ba? I think out of that 53, perhaps around 10 yata ang ready for rollout, no? Because it's just like investing, no? The first one to hit the market would have the advantage. So yung sa UK, sila na yon, di ba? And
But I wonder why places like Taiwan or
Huh?
Korea, they're really not talking about vaccination, or we just don't hear it.
Taiwan and
Korea, South Korea.
maybe they're just keeping quiet. I think Taiwan has the capability to make its own vaccine. So probably they're just keeping quiet, no? Meron silang virology institute eh. They can actually make their own vaccines. Korea then can also make its own vaccine. So maybe kaya
I know that they were at the forefront, but we don't hear so much about Korea now.
even Japan has the capability to make its own vaccines, no? Perhaps gumawa na sila for their own citizens, hindi lang nila sinasabi. Oo. But of course, dapat lilitaw yun sa COVID vaccine tracker. So let's see.
Oo, kasi di ba, the WHO said that.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. So maybe that's the subtle good news, that maybe those who are quiet will be more feasible.
Okay. Also, I told my students na even with that vaccine, hindi na matatanggal yung masks. I think that would be set into law by a lot of countries. And if you're going to travel, the airline probably or the immigration in countries will require it. And probably babalik yung yung health certificate ng World Health Organization, that little yellow thing that used to be part of our passports. Ayun. Baka bumalik yon. And also, and sabi ko sa mga students ko, okay, if people will wear masks for good, then that will check on the other coronavirus, the one that spreads colds. Kasi wearing mask really talaga cuts down the risk for catching a cold. So, malulugi yung mga gumagawa ng cold medicines.
Neosep.
Maraming mga... Yeah, and it's true.
Decolgen.
Wearing masks, actually, kaya nga sa Japan, di ba, they do that. Wearing masks cuts down the chances of catching a cold by more than 50%. Oh.
Baka tumaas yung presyo as they do now, di ba? Yung presyo ng mask.
Yeah, baka I think the better thing is to have washable. That you don't need to replace all the time.
All right. So that's your Christmas message before we go to Doc Butch's. That's your Christmas message. Wear your mask. Wear your mask and not catch cold. All right. So Butch, what's the good news? Even so.
Good. Well, it's hard to see the good news now, no, because we've been on some sort of pause for the last year or last 10 months, no. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and the good news is the first vaccine rollout was already done in the UK. That's good news, and despite the there are just two reports for adverse reactions, but they are really expected, no? As Dr. Vallejo said, no, when I injected him with a flu vaccine, no, he didn't feel well for 2 days, probably because I jammed it in too deep.
Or I didn't have immunity to that strain.
Is there passive aggressive behavior?
There is good news, no? So the vaccine is here, but the good news really is that 2021 is a new year. It's a new year. It's a chance for us to have our New Year's resolution anew, right? To have a resolution to be more mindful of others and mindful of your own health and the health of others, no? That's the good news for me, that we can make a difference next year. No, we can forget about our practices in 2020. No, we can start with a new, let's say, a new lease on life on January, right? No, we are alive. If on January we will be, and it's a gift in itself. And I think technology now has caught up with the pandemic situation. We now have cashless transactions, etc. Right? So even the RFID, which is a nightmare, that's an innovation in itself. Although the implementation is a bit, right? But we all have the technologies coming up. In an SCS point of view, science is working right now, and I see that. Technologies are being made at a rapid pace and used at a rapid pace right now. And I think moving on to the future, maybe the next 5 years, we will see more technological advances in health, which has taken a back step to computers, back step to other tech, mobile phones. No, now we see 2021 perhaps with technologies in health, no? And siguro sana.
All right.
Freeze.
All these technologies and all these processes.
Correct.
2021.
So in the true Ignatian Jesuit and perhaps Antonio Luna tradition, the real good news is in science. So we cannot separate our being human and being Christian. And the call really is to learn more about science, use our common sense more, and inform ourselves about what's going on, about health, about the environment, and most of all, about life itself. And that is the good news. And that the information is there, except that we have to know where to find it. All right. So that's our show that's the last episode for this year on the maiden year of RKS, and hopefully we'll be able to convince more people to do science and to be more scientific. All right. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Hey,
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All right.